Hi there, it's Zuli here. In today's video, we're diving into something super exciting, building a furniture e-commerce website from scratch using React.js and CSS. By the end of this tutorial, you would have all the skills necessary to create a fully functional e-commerce website. Here's what you would need: navigation bar and hero section. I'll walk you through setting up a clean nav bar that will be embedded in the hero section, while the hero section is going to have a beautiful background image. And then we're going to go to the product category. We're adding a category section so that users can easily filter and browse different types of furniture. So here is all our category. We have for all the products, we have for chairs, we have for table, we have for bed, we have for cabinets and lighting. Okay, I will come back to the category soon. And then we have the product display. You're going to learn how to display products on the home page. So these are all the products that we're going to be displaying in this home page. And then we're also going to learn to build a very simple yet stunning footer. So let's go back to the category. For the category, you can use it to filter. Your users will be able to use it to filter and browse different types of furniture. So for chairs, once your user selects this category, all they will see is everything that falls on that chair. For tables, everything here is a table. For beds, every single thing that will be displayed will be bed. For cabinets, every single thing will be cabinet. And for lighting, we're going to have all of these beautiful chandeliers. And when you click on all, you're going to have all of the products that are available in the website. Okay. And then another thing you're going to learn is to add items to carts. So for this tutorial, users will be able to add items to carts and modify the items the way they want. So I'm going to be adding this item, and this item to our cart. As you can see, it's showing that we have 3 items in the cart. If I click on this is what we have. Okay, so you're going to learn how to build a cart page as well. So you can modify it, you can increase and decrease the quantity of items in the carts. Okay, as you can see, this is all working and it is changing. You would also learn to remove a specific item from your cart, and you will also learn to delete the entire cart page where it's going to show that the cart is empty. I would also guide you on how to build a product detail page. So for this tutorial, we're going to build the product via the image or the title of the product. Okay, so if I click on the title of the product, this is what we're going to have. Okay, so let me select this product, and then this is what you're going to get. So if you click on the product, you're going to see the product details. So for this, users can check out the description and reviews before making purchase. Okay, so for the product detail page, this is what we have. This is the title, this is the price, this is a little description right here. And for the quantity, if your user is adding to cart, the quantity is going to reflect here, and it is also going to reflect here. If I add one more, the quantity is going to change as well. So also in the product detail, we're going to have description, and we're also going to have reviews. Okay, so here it's saying that no reviews yet. For the description, this is what we have. And then in the cart page, that has been added to the cart page. Okay, and the price is also working perfectly well. So you're going to learn all of this as well. So guys, do not forget to subscribe. Finally, we deploy this site to a free hosting platform so you can show it off to the world. So by the end of this tutorial entirely, you would have a fully working furniture store ready to go live. So make sure to hit and subscribe. Let's get started. So we're going to start by opening your VS Code. I'm on mine. So you go to the terminal, and the terminal you change directory to Dextone. I have a folder for YouTube project, so I'm going to create this React app in the folder. So I'm going to change directory to the folder first. So YouTube project, and then in this folder I'm going to create the React app. So to create the app, you use this command. So the name of the app is going to be furniture website with carts. So when you press enter, you're going to see this. Now change directory to the app you just created now, furniture website carts, and then you run this command npm install. Make sure you're connected to the internet to do this. So after successful installation, you navigate back to your file. In the file open folder, and then you navigate to your desktop. In the desktop, we created the project in YouTube projects in the folder. So this is the furniture website with parts. Select folder to open the folder. Okay, so after you've opened the app, open your SRC folder. You're going to see all of this. Open your SRC folder, then start with cleanups. So I'm not going to be using app.css, so I'm just going to delete it. Move to recycle bin, open app.gss, and then clean it up. Control A, delete everything. So you use REFC. It's a shortcut to create a functional React app. So to use this shortcut, you're going to need this extension. You're going to need ES7 React Redux React Native extension. So install it and you'll be able to use that shortcut. Now back to our Explorer page. Index the CSS as well, which is the global CSS. We're going to clean that up as well. And our index.html, we need to change this. The name of what we're trying to be is Kento Furniture. So we're just going to name this. The title of the project is Kento Furniture. And then we're done with all of that. So now we need to test if our app is working. Navigate back to your terminal, click on new terminal, and then you're going to run npm run dev. So this is going to generate a link to access this React app in your local browser, in your local host. So this is the link. Follow the link, and then this is what we have now. Okay, so this is what we have now. Let's see the structure of what we're trying to do. First off, we have the home page. This is our home page here. In the home page, we have our navigation bar, we have our hero section, we have the category section, product display, and then the footer is present in every other pages. Okay, let's see. In our carts page as well, we have a different navigation bar, because not necessarily different, but the background of the navigation bar is a bit different, and the footer is present as well. So for every page, there is the navigation bar and there is a footer. Okay, in the product detail as well, if you check, we have the nav bar and the footer. Okay, so that means we need to create 3 pages: the home page, the cart page, and product detail page. Also, we have icons here. That means we need to install React icon, and we also need to install React Router DOM so that we can navigate different routes. Okay, so we're starting with React icon for the installation, and then React Router DOM. So once you're on this page, copy the installation codes, head back to your terminal, open a new terminal, and then you just have to paste what you just copied. Okay. So while React icon is installing, we'll do the same thing for React Router DOM. We'll open another one, and then we're going to paste the installation code for React Router DOM as well. So while the installation is going on, we need to get all the images that we're going to be using for this tutorial. So these are all of the images. I'm just going to copy every one of them and then copy it in our asset folder. So right here, we're already having each and every one of the images that we're going to be using for the tables, chairs, and all of that in our asset folder. And then in our SRC folder, we need to create our components, and then we need to create our pages folder as well. And then we need to create our data file. Okay, so our data file is going to contain array of objects, which is what is going to store all of the necessary details that we're going to be using for product display, for product details, all of that. So I've already created the array of objects, so I'm just going to copy it and paste it here, and then we'll look through it together. So this is it. I want to drag this down a little bit. Okay, so let's go through all of that. These are all of the images that we're going to be using. Remember earlier, I already pasted every single one of the image here. This is all of the image. And then for the first one, the first array of objects that we have is our products category list. Okay, here we have several categories. Why? That our user will use to filter from the product display. So this is it right here. And this is the array of objects, starting with the first product name for all of the products, for chair category, for table category, bed, cabinet, and lighting. And then we have another array of objects for product lists, okay, where we have the ID, the name of the product, the image, the price, the category, and the product detail itself. So this is everything. I'm going to be providing this in my GitHub. I'm going to share the link in the description box. Okay, so now that we have the data, we have our component folder, we have our pages folder, we just need to continue. So in our pages, we need to have our own page folder and also our product details folder. Okay, so for the home page, we're going to have our own page file as well, homepage.jsx. So here, RFC, we're going to use this is a shortcut, like I said earlier, to create a functional React app. And then for product detail as well, we're going to have product details.jsx, and then the CSS file as well, product details.css. Okay, so I'm going to close this as well. And then for our components, we're going to create our navbar folder in the component folder. We're going to create our hero folder in the component folder. We're going to create the category folder. We're going to create the footer folder as well. We're also going to create the cart folder in the components. We're going to create product lists. And then we're going to create shop contexts. Lastly, we're going to have the footer folder. Okay, file name footer already exists. Okay, so we already have cart, category, footer, hero, navbar, product list. So for each of these folders that I created in the components folder, I'm going to create the GSX and CSS file for each and every one of them. So here we're going to have cart.gsx and cart.css. Okay, for category as well, we're going to have category.gsx and then category.css. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video to create the GSX and CSS file for the footer, hero, navbar, products list, and shop context. So I'm done creating the GSX and CSS file for each and every one of the folder that I created under our component. So I'm just going to close all of these, and then we can now continue. Let's see if our installation is done. Okay, this has been successfully installed. This has also been successfully installed. All right. So we can now continue. So let's start. In our app.gsx, we need to define our routes. So here, I'm just going to delete this. We'll start with routes. Okay, we're supposed to import routes first off before any other thing from React Router DOM. Import routes. And then routes as well from React Router DOM. Okay, so here we have defined our routes. Now we need to get the path for each of the routes. So here, the path / which is going to represent the home page, and the elements we're going to render here is going to be for our home page. So here, we're going to render our home page. Okay, and we're just going to close this. And right here, we're going to close this as well. The other route will be for our product detail page. So route, let me close it. So the part here will be for product details. So here we're going through the products. I want to view our products with our ID. So elements here. We're going to render our product details page. Close this. And then for our cart page as well, route, close our route. The cart here is for carts. So cart page, the elements will be carts. Okay. So for our own page, we have our own page of DSS. For our product, we need to import it as well. Import home page from pages, home page, and then we need to import product details as well. Product details from pages folder, product details, and the GSX file. So we need to import our cart as well. Carts from components, carts, carts. Okay. So if we view our local host now, we're going to see home page. Everything, our home page is what we're going to be seeing because the part here is saying home page. So, but before that, we need to wrap our app, the whole application, this application. We need to wrap the React browser router around the app. So here we're going to have browser router. Let me import it first. I'm going to import browser router from React Router DOM. Okay, here I'm going to close it. Browser router. Okay. Okay, let me just cut this and then cut the app. It should be in between. Okay, so this is looking all good. We have wrapped our app around the browser router so that the routing system that we define here can work successfully. So now the only thing we're going to be seeing here is going to be our home page. So for our home page here, this is what we're trying to do, right? We have the hero section. In the hero section, we mounted the navigation bar. We have a transparent navigation bar here. The background is transparent, so I just mounted it in the hero section right here. So I'm going to start by creating our hero section and our navigation bar in the home page. So yeah, I'm just going to close this, and then I'm going to move to nav1 RAFCB shortcut to create the functional reactor. Click enter, and then you can now start with your code. So I'm going to start by creating a div tag with the class name of navbar, and then we're going to have 3 other div tags for the logo. We're going to have for the link, and then we're going to have for the icons. So here now icon wrapper. So in the logo, we're going to have an HT tag that would say Kento furniture, and then for the links, here we're going to have a list tag. We're using 3 list items. We have home, we have about, and then we have products. So for nav icon wrapper, we're going to have a div tag for our cart, and this is going to take the cart icon. Because we have installed the React icon, you can just type in carts and React is going to give you a list of icons that you can choose from. So I'm going to be using this. This is going to take a class name of nav icon. So I'm going to close this, and then we need the quantity on the carts. So here we have a p tag with a class name of nav carts amount. That is for the quantity. I'm going to set the quantity to 0. We're going to change that later. So after the carts, we're going to have the user icon. So I'm just going to type in user, and that's going to suggest a list of icons for me that I can choose from. So I'm going to be using this one, and I'll also give it a class name of nav icon. Close it right here, and we have our navigation bar looking all good and complete. Right, so we can now style it. But right now, our navigation bar is not going to show in the home page because we are mounting our navigation bar in our hero section. So let's just build the hero section so that we can mount the navigation bar and then style it as well. Okay, before building the hero section, there's something that we need to know here. Right here in our own page, the navigation bar is transparent. But on any other page, the navigation bar, the background is dark. Okay, so we need to set that as well. So I'm going to create an object here, and the object is going to contain inline CSS that we'll use to style our nav. So for nav bar style, we want to set the background color. Here we're using that panel operator to check if the navigation bar is transparent. We're setting the color to transparent. And if it is not transparent, it should only be transparent when it's on the home page. So in the row section, we're going to set that as well. The color that will be displayed should be black. Okay, so that means that it will be transparent on the home page and it will be dark on every other pages. Okay, and then the text column. So the next object here is going to be for color. The text color, we're going to set it to white. Okay, so now in our nav bar here, I'm going to have style, and it's going to take nav bar style. Okay. Okay, so let's go with our hero section. So in the hero section, I'm not going to clear this out. I'll create a div tag and give a class name of hero container. And then I'm going to have another class name for hero. So we're going to have an h1 tag that is going to take this. And then we're going to have a p tag that is also going to take this. Okay. And then we're going to have a button, a call to action button that would say shop now. Okay. So this is what we have in our hero section. So remember I said that we're going to mount our navigation bar in the hero section, and the navigation bar has to be transparent if it's on the home page. Because the hero section is on the home page, that means the navigation bar has to be transparent in the hero section, right? So here I'm going to mark the nav bar components in the hero section. Okay, and then the next thing we need to do here is very important because we need to get the location of our routing system. Okay, so I'm going to import use location from React Router DOM to access the current location of the route location data. Okay, so what we basically want to do is to know if the navigation bar is on the home page. If it is on the home page, we want it to be transparent, and if it is not on the home page, we want the color to be dark. We've already set the inline style here. Okay, so right here in our hero section, we just need to implement it. So I'm going to import use location from React Router DOM, and then here I'm going to use the use location hook, and I'm going to store it in our location variable. Const location should be equal to use location. Okay, so we need to check if we're on the home page. So const is home page. We're going to use location dot path name equal to slash. Okay, remember that slash stands for home page. Okay, so we want to check if we're on the home page. We want to see if location dot the path name is equals to this slash. Okay, so in our nav bar right here, we're checking if it is transparent, right? We're checking if it is transparent. If it is transparent, that means we're on the home page. And if we're on the home page, that means we want our background to be transparent. So right here, we're going to pass is transparent as a props. If it is transparent, that means we're on the home page. So here it is home page. So is home page right here. Okay, so if it is transparent, it should only be transparent when we're on the home page. And for the home page, we've already gotten the location using our use location hook. And so for our navigation bar right here, We're going to pass this transparent as a top as well. So here we're going to have this transparent. Okay, so now our hero section, we're going to mount it in our home page. So in the home page, what we want to have is the hero section. Okay, so this is what we have in our hero section. We have the navigation, the nav bar, and the hero itself. So we just need to style it. So we need to start by styling the navbar.css. We're going to start by styling navigation bar. So before that, we need to import our CSS file, the /navbar.css. Okay, so we're going to start by styling this navbar. Padding, take 30 pixels, and then padding inline, we're going to take 80 pixels. Display is going to be flex. Justify contents, space between. Color, text color will be white, although we've already defined that before. So for the link, display will be flex, and then gap between each of the list items will be 20 pixels. So for each of the list items, link URLi, the list style will be set to none. Font size will be set to 18 pixels, and then the font width will take 600. Text transform or uppercase. Okay, let's see what else do we need to style here. For this nav icon wrapper, we need to style this as well. So display is just flex. Let's see. So for our nav icon, or no, let me start with the nav card. For the nav card, display is flex, and then position will be relative. Cursor, pointer. What else do we have? For the nav icon, the font size of the icon will be 34 pixels, and then margin left will be 35 pixels for the color white. And then this quantity, nav cut amount, the background color for this is going to take this color code FF7518. And then position will be absolute. Right will be -8 pixels. The font size is going to be 12 pixels. And then the height is going to take 20 pixels. The width will take 20 pixels as well. The text color is going to be white. Since the background is the color code, color radius to be 50% because we want it to be a circle. Display is going to be flex, and then justify content will be center. Justify content is going to be center. Align items will be center as well. Then I think so because our navigation bar is set to be transparent on the home page, we're not going to see anything. And besides, the color is white. Our background right now is still white, so we need to add the background image to our hero section so that our navigation bar will be on top of that. Okay, now to our hero section, I need to place this. We need to style this as well. First off, we need to import our CSS file into our CSS file before we can start any styling. So we start by styling the hero container. So for hero container, the background image, we're using URL. We're getting it from our asset folder, and we're using this hero furniture.jpg. Okay, so the background size is cover. Background position will be in the center. Position will be absolute, and then Z index will be set to 1. The height is going to take 100 VH, and the width is going to be 100%. Okay, so this is what we have now. Okay, before any other thing, our index.css, we need to set the margin to 0 and the padding to 0 as well, so that this is going to okay too. This is what we have now. Our navigation bar is already in the hero section. We just need to style the hero section completely. So what else do we need to style in our hero section? We have the hero itself. Okay, so for hero, the max width is going to be 900 pixels. The margin is also wanted to be in the center. Display is flex. Display flex, and then flex direction will be colon. While all the items in the center, text also in the center, with a gap of 30 pixels between each of them. And then the margin itself is going to take 8 frames. Z index right here is going to be 2, and then position is going to be relative. What else do we have in our hero? We have the H1 tag, we have the P tag at the bottom. So here we're going to have hero, the H1 tag, the font size, maximum of 4 VW, 70 pixels. Okay, and then for the P tag, the width is going to be 90%, and the color is going to take this color to as E3, and then line height is going to be 1.5 for the button. Padding, we're going to set the width and height with padding, 1.1 rem for the height and 4 rem for the width. Okay, so the background color is going to be white, and then the font weight of the text will be bold. Border radius is going to be 15 pixels, and then the text color of this H1 is going to be white as well. Oh, not the H1. Let me see. For the hero section, the hero, the color, the text color will be white. Okay, so this is what we have now. This is looking all good. Let's see what's the difference between this. Alright, so here the font for this second text is a different font. So we need to get the font from Google Fonts. So now we're going to get Google Fonts. And then I'm just going to search for the name of the font is Great Vibes. Okay, so this is the font. Click on Get Fonts. Click on Get Embedded Code. And then we're using the import rule. Copy this import. So you add to index.css, and then you paste this here. Alright, so we can now use it. So for a match style, we're going to use a span tag so that we can differentiate. And I'm going to cut this and paste it here. So in our hero.css, we're going to style the hero h1 span. So if you come back here, you're going to see the CSS class for this. So you're going to copy and then head back here and then you paste it. Okay, come on. Alright. So we're using this color will be this color code. And then this is what we have. Okay, it's the same with this. Okay. Alright, so what next? The next thing we need to work on is our category selection, our category display. So for this category, we have all of the category that is displaying all. We have the chair category. If you click on the chair, it's going to give you the items the products that fall under the chair category. If you click on table, it's going to give you the products that fall under the table category. If you click on bed, you're going to have the products that fall under bed category. Cabinet as well, the same thing. Lightning, we're going to have the same thing. So let's see for table. If you click on the image, you're going to the detail. Okay, looking all good. Click on reviews, no reviews here. Click on description. You have description, so we need to work on this category. So I'm going to close the hero.jsx and CSS, and then we're just going to open our category folder. In the category component, we're going to display list of product category from product category list. So here, RAFC, we're going to use RAFC shortcuts to create a functional React app. So we are getting our product category data from our data.jsx right here. Okay, so I'm going to import the product category list. So here we're going to have product category list, and we're getting it from data. The category component is going to take two parts: the category itself and set category. The category will represent the currently selected category, while the set category will update the currently selected category when the user selects a new one. So here we're going to pass two props: category and set category, which is going to be the function to update the currently selected category. Okay, and then right here in our return, we're going to have a div tag for the category menu. And we're going to use heading and paragraphs to display the description. So the H1 tag is going to take this, and the paragraph tag, and it will take this. So we're going to create another div tag. So another div tag for category menu list. So this is where the list is going to be. So here we're going to map over the product category list to display each category, and we'll return a clickable div for each category represented by the product name. So here I'm going to map the product category list. So we're going to pass item and index. The index will serve as the unique identifier for each of the product category item. And then we're going to return a clickable div. So the div tag is going to have a class name of category menu list item. Okay. And in the div tag, we're going to have the product name. So the product name, this is what I mean. Each of the category is represented by product name, right? So here we're going to have item dot product name. So for this div, we want it to be a clickable div tag such that when the user click on it, here right now we've already mapped through the product category list. Okay, and what we want to render is the product name for each of the category, right? So on this div tag, we need to make sure that when the user clicks on it, we want to keep updating our category from either all of the category or to each of the category. Okay, so first off, I need to pass the key, and the key is going to be the index, which is going to serve as the unique identifier. Now, I'm going to use an onClick function. So we're going to call this set category function. So set category. So we're going to set to the previous category. So here we're going to check if the previous category is equal to the item.product name. We're using, let me expand this. Okay, let me close Explorer. I'm going to explain it now. We're using the ternary operator to do this. So if it is all, it's going to set to all. And here we're going to have item.product name. Okay, so basically, what we just did now is on this div tag, we have an onClick function. Our calling the set category, our passing previous, like the previous one that our user selected to our set category, to the set category function, which is going to update our category itself. So here I use the ternary operator to check if the previous category that our user selected is equal to the item.product name. It should display all of the products, and if otherwise, it should display the particular category, that is item.product name. Okay, what we are doing here is if the previous category is the same thing as the item.product name, it should display all of the category that falls under all. And if it doesn't, it should display each category that the user clicks on. Alright, so this is set, and now we'll go to our home page and render our category. Okay, so in the home page as well, we need to clarify something. We need to create a state variable and a setter function that would update the category and set category. So here I'm going to have category and the setter function set category that will be used to update. So if this is use states, and the states we want to use, our default state is going to be all. That is all category. So if the previous one matches with the current one that the user is selecting, you should display all of the category. So here we've already worked out the logic here, and then we're going to pass the props here as well. Category will be set to category, and then we'll pass the set category props as well, and it's going to be equal set category 2 as well. Okay, so now that we have it in our home page, we just need to style it so that everything can look all good. We're going to import our CSS file. So the / category.css, and we're going to start by styling. You copy this, the category menu. Let me close this in the JSS now for the JSS. So for category menu, paste it, and then we can now start styling. Display will be flex, gap will be 20 pixels, Z index is going to take 3, padding top is going to take 105 VH, and then the height will take 25 VH. Flex direction will be column, padding left is going to take 40 pixels. So this is what we have now, and this is what we're trying to build. Okay, but this is what we have currently. So let us continue now to the category menu list. Display with flex, and flex direction here is going to take row. Gap between each of them will be 10 pixels, and cursor will be pointer. And then we have the category lists item. So here the category menu list item. Padding will take 0.9 rem for the width, and then 3 rem, 0.9 rem for the height and 3 rem for the width. And then our border is going to take 1 pixel solid with this color code. Border radius is going to be 5 pixels, and then the font weight is going to be bold for the text. Okay, now for the over effect, background will be black, and then the color of the text will be white. Border will be set to none. So this is what we have now. So when the user clicks on all, it will display all of the category. If you click on chair, it will display the chair from the product list. Okay, so now that we're done with category, we need to display our products. We need to display each of the products that we have. Okay, so I'm going to close the category.js and the CSS. And now we're going to start with our product list, RAFC, to create a functional React app. Before the product list, this is what we're trying to do. We have our data here for product list. We have our data is stored in form of array of objects. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to make sure that the data, our product data, can be shared amongst other components. So we're going to be using shop context for that before we start displaying our. Oh, there is no shop context or CSS. Let me delete that. It's just going to be shop context. Okay. So the shop context is basically a context provider that holds and shared data related like products, art items, etc. across different components in the application. The shop context acts as a central place to manage and store states. So any component wrapped around the shop context can access and modify the data without having to pass it down as props. Okay, so I'm going to start by importing create context hook, use context hook to manage states and use effects for side effects. We're going to be using all of that data. And then I'm going to create the shop context And then we're going to import our product data, which is what we need right now, so that our product list components can have access to the product data wherever it is on the app. So we're going to start by import React from React. Okay, we need create context because we're going to be using that, and then we need use state as well, and we need use effects for side effects. Now we're going to create context. So here I want to create shop context. Okay, so because we're going to be needing it in other components, I'll use the export shop context be equal to create context hook. Okay, and then we need to import our shop data, which is this data, this product list. So here I'm going to import product lists from our data file. And then the next thing we're going to do is to define a context provider component, and I'm going to name it shop context provider that will wrap around the application that would need access to the shop states, and we would export the context provider as well. So here we're defining our shop context provider, shop context provider. Okay, and we're going to export it as well. So first off, we need to export the shop context provider. Export default shop context provider. Okay, so within our shop context provider, in the shop context provider components, we need to pass the children as props. So here we need to have children. Here we're having children as props. Okay, and then we're going to return the shop context provider that will wrap around its children component. So here we're going to have shop context dot provider. Okay, and it will wrap around the children components. And then we're going to pass values here that the children that the app is going to have access to. Okay, we're going to pass the value data. So under our shop context provider component, I'm going to create a state variable to manage products and update products. So we're creating a state variable and a setter function. The state variable will be called products, and the setter function will be called set product that would update the products, and we'll use it in product data. So here we're going to have products and then set products. And our use state is going to be our product list. So we're using the product list that we got from our data file. And then for our value, we're going to pass products. Okay, so this is what our shop context is looking like. We need to wrap, I said earlier that the shop context is a central place to manage and store data related and state related. So we need to wrap our app around this app. We need to wrap it around our shop context. So right here, I'm going to cut this Ctrl X, and then we're going to use shop context provider to wrap our. We're going to use this to wrap our app. So this is it. We wrap our app around the shop context provider, and then our product list. Now we can now access our products from shop context. So in our product list here, we're going to need use context hook. So we're going to import use context. Okay, and then we're getting our data, our product data from shop context. So I'm just going to import shop context. All right, and then we need to extract our products from shop context. So const product from use context. The context we are using is shop context. Okay. Now we can now do the main display work. We can now render a display. So I'm creating the div tag. I'll give you a class name of product list. And then we're going to have an h2 tag with this heading, our elegant collections. Okay, so after that, we're having another div tag for the grid display. So here we're going to have product grid. So for the display, we're going to map over our products, right? That we've extracted from our shop context. So here we're going to have products the map. Here we're passing products. Okay. First off, we need to destructure products before anything. We need to destructure products. So the ID of the product, the image of the product, the name of the product, the price of the product is what we need here, and everything will be equal to products, right? And then for this product display, right? Let me show you something. We want to be able to filter each of the products that we're displaying based on the category that we have on top. So we need to consider the category as well. We need to check if the category is equal to all of the category, it should display all of the products available. Or if the category is equal to each of these category, that's product.category, it should display that product that falls under that particular category. So here we're going to use an if statement, and then we want to check if category. But before that, we need to pass category as a props in our products display. So here we're going to have category, so that the category components can have access to the products list as well. Let me close this. And in our own page as well, we need to pass category to the products list when we render the category. We're going to get to that soon. That will serve as a link between the product list components and the category components. So first off, we need to work on this if statement. We want to check if category equals to all of the category. Okay, now the A is caps lock. Or if category is equal to products dot each category. Okay, this is supposed to be category, right? Oh, the same thing. Category. Okay. So we're checking. So we're going to return. I'm starting with a div tag for the products card. So here we're going to have products card. Oh, okay. Let me create a div tag. What I call the ancient way. Then I'm going to close the tag as well. Okay. So in between these div tags, before we get in between the div tag, we need to give the class name as well. So the class name for this is products cards. And the key, yeah, very important, is the ID. Will be the ID because we're using ID to uniquely identify each of the products. So in our products card, we're going to have image, the name of the product, the price, the button to add to cart. So we're starting with the image, and it is going to take image. Remember that we've structured our product right here. So we're going to have image here. We're going to use an h4 heading for the name of the product, and then I'm going to create a div tag for product, price, cart. So it will wrap around the price and the cart. So I'm creating a p tag with the class name of price. And this is going to take the price in dollars. So here we're going to have price So after the price, we're going to have another p tag in the same container. Let me close this Explorer. And then in our p tag, we're going to have the icon to add to the plus icon to add to cart. Because we have installed React icon, React is going to suggest list of icons for us. So I'm using this icon and I'm going to give it the class name of cart icon. So I'll close this icon and then this p tag is going to have a class name to add to carts. The product will also have a class name for product image as well. Let me add a class name of product image. Okay, so we're done with our product list display. We started by importing shop context and then we pass the category as props here because we want to filter products based on category from our category section. And then I extracted our products from our shop context and I created a div tag for products list, this heading right here, and then our div tag for the grid display where we map our entire products that we go from shop context and structure products. Then we use the if statement to check if the category is equal to all of the products, it should display all products. And if the category equals to products.category, it should display each of the category of the products. Okay. And now in the home page, we're going to mount our product lists. And then we're going to pass category as props as well. And category here, we have category as props, we have category as props. This will serve as a link between the category section and the product list section. Okay. So apparently this is what we have without styling. This is our product list. We have the chair, the table, the bed, the chandeliers, the cabinets, tables, etc. So when we style it, we're going to see the display better. We're going to style it so that it will look exactly like this. And let's see if the filtering method is working. So if I click on chair, all I have to see is chair. If I click on table, the only thing that should display will be table. Okay. If I click on cabinet, the only thing that should display will be cabinet, right? And then if I click on lightning, the only thing that will display will be this beautiful looking chandeliers and mushroom lights. So let's style. So for product list, I'm going to open product list.css, come back to product list, import the CSS file into the CSS file. So import /product list.css. So you copy product list. Let me close the Explorer, copy product list, paste it here. So I'm setting the max width to 1200 pixels. Margin 0 auto. Padding is going to take 20 pixels. And the text should be at the center. We have an H2 tag first off. So for the H2 tag, margin button will take 20 pixels. The font size will be 2 rem. And then the color will be this color code. What next? We have the grid layout. So for product grid, oh, come on, Control Z. Okay. So for product grid, display will be grid, as the name implies. Grid template column, repeat, autofill, minimum and maximum. We need to set that. So we want to have 350 pixels. 1 FR. Okay. And then we're setting the gap to 20 pixels. What else do we have here? We have the product ad. Our border, the border around the product card should be 1 pixel solid with this color code. And then padding is going to take 30 pixels. Border radius will be 10 pixels. And then transition, transform 0.2 seconds is in out. Okay, and then we have the product image as well. Copy it and then paste it here. For product image, the CSS goes those. Max width will be 100%. Border radius is going to take 8 pixels. Margin bottom is going to take 10 pixels. Margin bottom 10 pixels. The height of the image will be 250 pixels. Transform on a scale of 1. And then transition, transform. Okay, since they're sharing the same value, I'm just going to copy this and paste it here instead. So when you hover on the product image, we need to work on the over effect as well. We want the image to shrink a bit. So it's going to be transform in scale of 0.9. What else do we have? We have an H4 for the name. So for product card H4, font size is going to be 1.4 rem, and then text should start from the left, and the color of the text should be this color code. What else do we have? We have the product price cut container. For the product price cut container, display with flex, justify content, space between, and then margin top will be 20 pixels. Cursor will be pointer. Now we have price itself and add to carts as well. So for products price carts dot price, the font size is going to be 25 pixels, and the font width will be set to bold. Now we have the add to cart as well. I'm going to copy this. So for product price carts, the add to cart background color, we take this color code FF7518, and then padding will be 10 pixels. Border radius will be 10 pixels as well. Now for the cat icon, we have cat icon here. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So for cat icon, product price cat, add to cat icon. I'm going to set the font size to 26 pixels. 26 pixels. And then I'm going to set the color to white. So this is what we have now. If I click on all, we have all of the products displayed. So after our product display, we need to work on add to cart, we need to work on adding items to carts, each of these products to our cart page. So now we're going to work on the cart functionality in the shop context before we create our cart page. So I'm going to close the products list, and then I'm going to close this as well. I'm going to open the shop context. So I'm going to open my shop context now so that we can start working on our add to cart. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'll start by creating a state variable to manage the carts. I'll create a state variable and I'm going to name it carts, and a certain function which I'm going to name set carts, and I'm going to initialize the cart state as an empty string. So let's do that. Here we're going to have cart state. I'm going to create a state variable, name it carts, set a function set carts, and I'm going to initialize it with an empty array. Okay. Also, I'm going to create another state variable that will manage the quantity of item in our carts. So the quantity of item is the amount of item that will be in the carts. So I'll create a variable, I'll name it item amount, and a set of function set item amount, and I'm going to initialize that with 0. So here for the quantity, I'm going to name this item amount, set a function set item amount, and I'll initialize this with 0. Also, I'm going to create another state variable for the total price. This total price is going to track the total price of the item in our cart. So after we have added several items to cart, the state variable that I'm going to create is what will be in charge of tracking the total price of the item. So here, I'm creating a state variable. I'll give you the class a name of total and a total function of set total. And this here, use it. I'm going to initialize this with 0. So we can now start with the functionality of our cart. First off, we're going to start with adding to cart. We need to create a function that is going to undo adding an item to cart. So what I'm going to do now, let me write a comment here. Function to add to cart. So I'm going to start by creating, I will name the function add to cart, and it's going to take two parameters, product and ID, because we're adding each product based on their ID. Okay, so let me use here, we're going to have add to cart, that is the name of the function, and it's going to take two parameters, product, ID. So in our function, we're going to create a new object, and I'm going to name it new item. In the new object, we'll use the spread operator to create a shallow copy of the product object, meaning that we'll copy all the key value pairs that we have in our product. Then I'm going to add a new property called amount and give it an initial value of 1. Let me show you what I mean. So right here, I'm creating a new object. Okay. So I'll use the spread operator, products, and I'll initialize our amount by 1. So as I explained earlier, what I basically did was that in our add to cart function, I created a new object and I named it new item. And this new object, I used the spread operator to create a shallow copy of the product object, meaning that we're copying all the key value pairs of our products. Then I added a new property called amount and I gave it an initial value of 1. So the next thing I'm going to do is to check if an item already exists in the cart based on the unique ID. So I'm going to create a variable and I'm going to name it cart item, which is going to store the logic we're about to write. So I'm going to name the variable cart item. So here, what this variable is going to store is this. We will use the find method to look through every item in the cart and look for the one where the ID matches. If we find a match, then we're going to return that item. So basically, if we find any product in the cart that matches with the product that we want to add to the cart item, the cart item will store that item. That means that if we have an existing product in our cart and we want to add another product which is the same thing as the ID of that product that exists in our cart, the cart item is going to store the item. Okay, so here we're using the find method. What I want to do is look through every item that we can have in the cart. I'm going to return item, the existing item in our ID that matches the new item that we're about to add. Okay, and now another thing we need to do is that we need to write a code that will do two things for us. First, to check if the item is already in the cart, and also to increase the quantity of that item in the cart. Okay, and secondly, so the first thing the code that we're about to write now is going to do is that it's going to check if the item already exists in the cart, it should increase the quantity of that item. And the second thing that this code that we're also about to write is going to do is that if the item is not in the cart, it's going to add new item to the cart. So after this one here that is checking if the item is in the cart, we're going to write the logic down. So here I'm using an if statement to check if cart item, that means if any item is in the cart, I'm going to create new carts. I'm going to explain this very soon. New carts, and then I'm going to use the spread operator to create a shallow copy of our cart item, and I'm going to map over all the items in the carts. Then we're going to use an if statement as well to check if the item that is in the cart based on the ID matches with the new item that we want to add to the cart. And then if it does, we're going to return a shallow copy of the item, the amount of the item, and we're going to get the amount of the item by the cart item, which is what we added in the cart, plus 1. That means we are increasing the quantity by 1 if the item already exists in the cart. If the new item, which is this side, if the new item based on ID is present in our cart item, okay, if the new item that we're about to add is already inside our cart item, then we're going to create a shallow copy of the item, and also we're going to return the amount, which is the cart item dot amount plus 1. We're increasing the amount, the quantity by 1. Amount here is basically for quantity. So, and then we're going to have an else statement. So, if otherwise, we should return the item. Okay. And then we're going to set our cart to the new cart. The set cart is the setter function, right? So we're setting this cart here to the new cart that we just got down. Okay. So for the logic behind this is also going to have an otherwise statement. So we're going to use an else statement as well. So basically what I highlighted here, let me just explain it. The code is doing two things for us. The first thing it's going to check is that if the item already exists in our cart, we're going to increase the quantity of the item. And secondly, if it is not in the cart, we're going to add a new item to our cart. So now I'm going to have an else statement, else set cart to shallow copy of the cart and new item. Okay, so this is the logic to add to carts. So we're done with adding items to carts. What this else statement is doing is that if the item is not in the cart, if it does not already exist in the cart, we'll simply add new item to the cart by creating a new array, and we're going to include the existing cart item plus the new one. Okay, this is for the existing cart item and this is the new one. We're using the setter function to update our cart if the item does not already exist in our cart. Okay, so the next logic we're going to work on now is getting our total price. Okay, we need to create a functionality that's going to get the total price of all the items in our shopping cart and also automatically recalculate the total price whenever the cart changes. So here we're going to use a use effect hook to calculate the total price and recalculate whenever an item is added, removed, or its quantity is increased or decreased. So we're using the use effect hook. So this is function to get the total price. Alright, so we're using use effects. Okay. Control Z, okay. We're going to have this. Okay, so that is that. Now I'm going to create a variable and I'm going to name it total. And the variable is going to hold cart.reduce. We're using the reduce method because we're going to use it to go through each item in the cart and we're going to accumulate the total price. And this method is going to take two arguments, accumulator and current item. Let me write out the code so that you're going to see it. I'm creating a variable total. Okay, we're going to use the reduce method so that we can go through each of the item in the cart. This is going to take accumulator and also is going to take current item. Okay, so it's taking two arguments, accumulator and current item. But I'm going to create another variable that will store the conversion of the current item price to a floating point number. I'm doing this because prices are sometimes stored as string, so we need to convert it to floating point number. So I'm going to create a variable that is going to hold that logic as well. So I'm going to name it price as number because what we want to do is convert it to number, to convert our price to number, just in case if it is not stored as a number. So this is going to have current, not caps lock, current item dot price That's what we're converting to the floating point number. And now the next thing we need to check is for validity. We need to check if the price is valid. So I'm going to use an if statement to check if the price is not a number. Then we're going to return the accumulator. And if it is a number, we'll multiply the price by the quantity, which is the amount that I said earlier, which is the amount of the item. And then we're going to add it to the running total, which is the accumulator. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm using an if statement to check if the price is not a number, is man. That's what you're going to use. So we're going to have price as a number. That is what we want to check. If it is not a number, we want to return accumulator. Okay. But if it is a number, we're going to return the running total, which is the accumulator, plus price as number multiplied by the current item dot amount. And here we're going to set the quantity, which is the amount, to 0. Okay. And then we're going to update our total by using the set total. So here we're going to have set total. And then here we're going to pass cat as a dependency array. So for every time our cat changes, the use effect is going to run again. That means the total price will automatically recalculate for every time the cat changes. We're going to keep running a new total price if an item is added, if an item is removed, if an item is increased, if an item is decreased. Okay. And now the next thing we need to work on is to create a function that will calculate the total number of items that we have in our cart. What we've done so far is that we've created a function that is going to undo adding item to cart. We've created another function that will undo getting total price. The next thing we need to do is to create a function that would calculate the total number of items in our cart, and that is going to be our quantity. So I'm going to use the use effect hook to execute the function. So this function will run every time the cart changes. That means we're going to pass the cart as well as the dependency array. So let's get to it. So let me write a comment here. So this function is to calculate the quantity of item in our cart. Okay, so I'm using use effects hook. Use effects. First, we need to use the if statement to check if there is any item at all in our cart. So in the if block, we're going to create a state variable for amount, and that is going to store the logic that we're about to write. So let me use if statement. We want to check if there's any item at all in our cart. Then I'm going to create a variable, name it amount, and this is going to store this logic. So we're going to use cart.reduce, where the reduce method is going to look through each item in our cart, and it is going to calculate the total number of items, which is the same thing as for the quantity. And we're going to add each item quantity to the running total. Okay, so here we're using the reduce to look through each item in the cart. Okay, so that we can calculate the total number of items. So reduce. So here we're going to have accumulator and current item. Okay, and it is going to return accumulator plus current item dot amount. And right here, our amount will be set to 0. And then we're going to use the setter function, set item amount, to update our amount. And then here we're going to pass cart as a dependency array, so that every time the cart changes, this function would rerun again, so automatically recalculates. So basically, what I did was that I used the use effect hook I use the if statements to check if there's any item in our cart. Then the if block, we use that to create a variable amount that will store cart.reduce, where the reduce method will look through each item in the cart and calculate the total number of items, which is the same as quantity. So we added each item quantity, which is current item dot amount, to the running total. And then I use the total function set item amount to update the item amount to reflect the total number of items. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do now is to create a function that will handle removing items from our cart based on ID. So I'm going to name the function remove from cart, and it's going to take one parameter. It's going to take ID as the parameter. So let me create the function now. I'm going to write a comment function to remove from cart based on ID. Okay, so this is the function const. The name of the function is going to be removed from cart, and it's taking ID as parameter. So inside the function logic, I'm going to create a variable, and I'm going to name it new cart, which is going to store the cart filter method, sorry. And the filter method is basically going to filter the item of the cart and keep only item where the ID is not equal to the ID of the item we want to remove. Okay. So I'm creating a new variable. I'm going to name it new cart. And this is going to store the filter method, cart.filter. We want to filter all of the items, and then we're going to keep, so here we're returning item based on ID that we already have in our cart that is not equal to the new item that we want to remove. Okay, so we're returning item that is not equal to the particular item that we want to remove from our cart after filtering the cart. And then we are going to update our cart with the new cart. So set cart with new cart. Okay, so this is a very, very simple process. And the next step we're going to take is to create a simple function that would empty our cart. Okay, so here I'm going to write the comment is going to be clear cart. So this function, I'm going to name it clear cart. It's not taking any parameter. So we're just going to set our carts. We're going to update our carts with an empty array. Okay, so that means that nothing will be in the carts when we use this function. Okay. The next step now is to create a function to increase the quantity of a specific item. We need to, when your user is shopping, when you're building a website, a shopping website, an e-commerce website to be precise, the user can decide to increase a particular item that they have added to the carts. Okay, so we need to work on that function that is going to undo increasing the quantity of a particular item. So we're using the ID. Our ID is the unique identifier. We're using the ID to increase it. So I'm going to name the function increase amount, and it's going to take a simple parameter, which is ID. Okay, let me write the comment here. Function to increase amount. Okay, I'm going to name the function increase amount, and we're increasing the amount of the item by the ID because we want to increase specific items. So we can only choose specific item using the ID. That is what we're using in this scenario. So I'm creating another variable for that item, and we're going to use the find method. So we want to find the item, and then we're going to return the item that we already have in our cart based on the ID. So that matches the item that we want to increase. Okay, and then we're going to call the add to cart function. So it's going to add the new item based on ID. Let me explain what I did. I created a function and I named it increase amount. It's going to take a single parameter, which is ID. The next thing I did was to create a variable, and I named it cat item. And it's going to undo searching through the cat array, and it's going to find. So the variable cat item is going to undo searching through the cat array, and it's going to find the item that has a matching ID. So once the item is found, the function calls another function, which is add to cart, and it's going to add the new item to the cart based on the ID. So basically, the add to cart is going to take the cart item and the ID, because we are increasing the quantity of the item. So it's going to increase the quantity of the item by adding another unit of that same item. And now we can now head to decrease amount, so that our user can decrease quantity if they've added more than enough, like what they want. They should be able to increase and decrease quantity. So I'm going to name this decrease amount, and I'm going to pass ID as a parameter, because I want to decrease the amount, which is the same thing as quantity of the item, by the parameter. So I'm creating another variable, cat item, and then we're going to use the find method as well to find the item, so that we can return item that matches with the item that we have in our cart. Okay. So if the item is found, the new cart is going to store this logic. Let me type this. So I'm using an if statement. If cart item. Now if statement, we're going to have the new cart, which is going to store this logic. We're basically going to map through all the items in the new cart array. So for the item with matching ID, we're going to return a new object with the same property by using a spread operator to create a shallow copy, but we're going to reduce the amount by 1. So what I'm trying to say is that we're mapping through item, cart.map. We're mapping through all of the items in our cart. So I'm going to use an if statement to check if the item in the cart matches with the item that we want to reduce. We're going to return an object that will store the property of the same property. We're going to return a new object with the same property, and then we're going to reduce the amount, that is the same thing as the quantity of the cart item dot amount, amount, by 1. Okay. And then for just in case, if otherwise, so else statement, we're going to return the item. Okay. And then after all of this, we need to set our cart with the new cart. So we're going to update our cart with new cart. Okay, and here we're going to have a very important else statement. And the else statement is that we're going to check if the item reduces, if after reducing the item goes below 1, we need to remove the entire item from our cart. So here we're going to have if cart item dot amount should go below 1, that is less than 2, we're going to call the remove from cart function, and then we're going to remove the item based on the ID. So basically, this is our cart. We have worked on the add to cart, we have worked on getting total price, we have worked on calculating the quantity of items in our cart, we have worked on removing items from carts, we have worked on clearing the cart, increasing and decreasing the amount of items we have in our carts. Okay, now the next thing we need to do for each of these functions, we need to be able to use it in another component. Okay, so we're going to pass all the states, the necessary states that we want to use outside in other components in the value. So here we need carts, This is supposed to be carts. We need add to carts. Add to carts. We need remove from carts. We need the clear cart function. We need the increase amount. We need the decrease amount as well. These are functions and states that we're going to be making use of. We need the item amount itself. We need the total as well. Okay. So this is everything about adding to carts. The next thing we need to do is to create our cart page. So now that we're done with our add to cart functionality, removing items from cart, removing items from cart, and all of that, we need to add into in our product lists. We should be able to add products directly from the product list. Okay, to be able to do that, I've already extracted product from our shop context. That from the shop context. So in the product list here, we want to be able to add products directly to carts. So I'm also going to extract the add to carts function. So I've extracted that, and now we want to be able to add to products when we click on the plus icon, right? So we're going to add an on-click function, and then we're going to call the add to cart function. So here, add to cart. We're adding products to carts based on ID. So we're going to pass products and ID. Okay, in our shop context, our add to cart functionality is taking two arguments, products and ID, because we're adding products based on ID. So that is why we have it here also as products and ID. Okay, so we should be able to add to carts with this. And then also in our navigation bar, we need the quantity of item. Here I set it to 0, so we need to change that as well. So first off, I need to import shop context. Here we're using use context, so use context, and then I'm going to import shop context because I want to extract the item amount from shop context. And then right here, after our navbar style, or before it, I think it's better before it, we're going to extract item amount from shop context. So use context will be shop context. Alright, so I'm going to copy this, and then we're going to replace this 0 by the quantity, by the item amount. The item amount serves as the quantity, as I explained earlier in shop context. So we've done for product list, and then we've done for navigation bar to display the quantity of items that we have in the cart. So let's test if this is working. Right now we have 0 item in the cart, right? If I add this item, as you can see, it has changed here. It has updated here that we have 1 item in the cart. If I add another item in the cart, it will update that I have 2 items in the cart. If I add another item, it will update here that I have 3 items in the cart. But we're going to create the cart page, so we cannot see the detail of the items that we have in our cart. So what we're going to do now is to create our cart page. So I'm going to close the navbar, product list, window DSS, shop context, home page, and then we're going to start with the carts. So my cart.gsx now, we're using use context, and then we need to get some data from some data related to cart from our shop context. So I'm going to import shop context. From shop context. Okay, so we're done with that. So first off, we need to extract all of the things that we need from shop context. We need carts, we need clear carts, the clear cart function, we need the total, we need item amount, which is also quantity. So here we're going to extract carts, clear cart, total, and then item amount, because that is what we're going to be using in So here, use context is shop context. All right, let me close the Explorer so we can have more space. Now let's get to work. I'm going to create a div tag for cart container. So in our carts, we're going to have the left and the right side. So the left side is basically going to have the cart headers, and the cart's details, while the right side is going to have the cart summary. So I'm going to create a div tag for carts, the left hand side, and then another div tag for the right hand side. So we're starting with the left section of the carts. We're going to have cart headers. We're going to have two cart headers. So carts header times 2. Okay, I'll just copy and paste it here. So the first one is going to have shopping cart, item amount, and the clear cart, the icon to clear the cart. So each one, shopping cart. And then we're going to have another each one for items in brackets. It is going to take item amounts that we extracted from our shop context. And then the third one is going to have the trash icon to trash the entire cart. So this is going to be trash. Let me see. Which one should I use? The trash 2. So I'm going to use this. And I'll give you a class name of delete carts. Okay. So here we're going to call the clear cart function. Okay. So when you click it, we use on click clear cart. So when the user clicks on this trash icon, they're going to see clear carts, right? Okay, so we're done with the first header. Now to the second header, that's where we're going to have our product description, quantity, price, and total. So we're using span tag, and we need 4 of that. So the first one is going to have product description. The second one, let me just align it up. Okay, so the second is going to have quantity. The third is going to have price. And the last one is going to have total. Okay, so after the entire cart header, we need to display the cart details. The cart detail is where we're going to have the image of the cart, the increments and decrements, the price of the cart, the price of the item, and all of that, and the total price, right? So here I'm going to have div tag for cart detail. Okay, so we need to map our carts. One thing I'm going to do now is I want to check the cart detail. We want to check if we have any item in our cart. Then we're going to display the detail of the item, the detail of the product that we've added to cart. But if we have no item, like if there's 0 item in the cart, they want to display that the cart is empty. So here I'm going to use the length method, th, okay, to check if the cart is greater than 0. That means if we have items that are more than 0 added to our cart, then we are going to render the cart details. So for this cart detail, it's going to be a separate component, and we're going to work on that very soon. So if it is not, if otherwise, we should display that the cart is empty. Okay, this is not supposed to be caps lock. I should show that the cart is empty. So now that we've done this, we're only checking if we have more than 0 item in the cart. If we have more than 0 item, we want to display the cart detail. If there are no items at all, that means if it is less than 0, we want to show that our cart is empty. But we need to map each of the items to the cart. Okay, so here we're going to have cart.map item. And then we're going to cut all of this. We're going to cut the cart detail, and we're going to have it here. Okay, so what I don't do now is I checked the length of the cart. If it is greater than 0, we're mapping the cart and we're assigning each of the item to the cart detail. So here we're going to pass props. Item will be equal to item as well. And then the key, which will serve as the unique identifier, is going to be for item but ID, because we want to display the detail of the product, that is the item that we've added to our cart, based on their ID. Okay, so that is for the left side. And now on the right hand side, we're going to have our cart summary. So H2 tag, the heading tag will be cart summary, and then we're going to have a div tag for summary item. So the summary item. So we need 5 summary items. I'm just going to copy this and paste it 4 more times. So now we have 5 summary items. The first detail that will be in the first summary item will be for the item and the quantity. Okay, so we're going to have 2 span tags. The first one will be for the number of items that we have in the cart, and the second span tag will be for item amount, which is also the quantity. The second summary item will be for the subtotal, so I'll need a span tag as well. 2 span tags. The first one will be subtotal, while the second will be for the total amount. But we need to check if the total is a number. So we're going to use is none. We're going to check if the total is not a number, it should display 0, but if it is a number, it should display total. So the subtotal will be in dollars, right? I want to check if it is not a number, if the total is not a number. I'm using a ternary operator, it should display 0, but if it is, it should display the total. Okay, so for the third summary item, that's where we're going to have our shipping fee. So span tag, we need 2 span tags. First one will be for shipping, and then the second one. So the shipping will be set to free. And then for the fourth summary item, that's where we're going to have the promo code and the inputs in case if the user is going to use the promo code. So we're going to have span tag, and then I'm going to have promo code. And then we need an input field. So the input type is a text. So input is text. We don't need all of this actually for now. So placeholder will be enter your codes. And then we're going to have a button with the class name of apply. And this is going to display apply. And then for the very last one, that's where we're going to have our total cost. So we need 2 span tags as well. The first one is going to take total cost, and the second one is where we're going to have. We also need to check if it is not a number, it should display 0. If it is a number, it should display the total. So I'm just going to paste it, copy and paste that here. And then after this, we're going to have a checkout button. Checkout, and it is going to say check out. Okay, so this is it. This is all about the cart page. Now we have the cart detail component here that we're here to work on. So I'm going to come to our cart, create a file for cart detail.js, and then RFC to create shortcut to create functional reactor. So I'll close this back. In our cart details, we need to extract the remove from cart function, the increase amount function, and the decrease amount function from our shop context. So here we're going to have use context, and then we're going to import shop context. Okay, this is supposed to be import. Okay. All right. Now, next thing we need to do is extraction. we need to extract remove from carts function. We need to extract increase amount function and then decrease amount from our shop context. Use context to be what? Shop context. Okay. We also need to do structure item right here. Here we pass item as props and we're mapping item. We're mapping our cart here. So we're going to pass item here also as a props before we structure. So what our item is going to have is the ID, the name of the product, the image, the price, and then the amount. Everything will be for item. So we can now start to render to our browser. I'm going to create a div tag with the class name of cart item. So in the cart item, we're going to have the product detail, we're going to have quantity, price, and the total. So we need the product detail container, and then we need the quantity container as well. Quantity. We need the div tag for price, and then for total price. So in the product detail container, we're going to have the image of the product and the information about the product. So I'm starting with the image. So we'll pass it here, and then we're going to have image, and then we need info about the. So this is going to be product info. In the information about the product, we're going to have the title of the product. That's the name of the product. So we're using an H3 tag for name. And then we need the remove icon, the container that will hold removing a specific item. So here we're going to have cart item remove, and here it's going to take, we're passing the trash icon, trash 2, let me see, trash 2 icon, and we'll have remove and the text in front of it. So for this icon, we're going to use the remove from cart function that we got from our shop context. So here on click, remove, okay, we're calling the function, we're calling remove from carts, and we're removing based on the ID. This is to remove a specific item, okay, to remove a specific item from the cart item. And now to the quantity, this is where the increment and decrement will take place. I need 2 buttons. So for the first button, we're using the remove icon. So this is the icon that we're going to use. And then for this other button, we need the increment icon. So add icon. I'm using this. Did I get this of time? Okay, let me just do this. IO. This is the icon that we're using, so I'm just typing it in directly. Okay, for this first button, it's a remove button. We want to use this to decrease. Okay, so here we're going to use an on-click function to call the decrease amount. Okay, so here we're calling the decrease amount function that we got from our shop context. And for the second one, we're going to call the increase amount, the increment function that we got from our increasing as well based on ID. We're decreasing based on ID and we're increasing based on ID. But between the 2 buttons, we need to display the amount of item that is that we have increased to. So we're using a span tag, and here we're going to have amount. Okay, now to our price, we're just going to pass this price, and then for total price as well, we're going to pass price too. So we need the price in dollars, and we want the price. If it is in a floating point number, that means if it has decimal, it should be in 2 decimal places. So I'll use backticks first. Okay, no, I'm starting like this. Backtick. The price will be in dollars. So here we want to check. We want to convert it to float. We're getting the price, the total price, by multiplying price by amount. That is the quantity of item. So if it is a floating point number, we want it to be in 2 decimal places. Okay, I think we've nailed this. So we used all of the function that was called, and now let's see. So our cart detail is working, our cart itself is looking okay. So let's continue. Alright, so we need to be able to view our cart page after adding items to the cart, right? So we'll head back to our navigation bar, come back to the nav bar. We should be able to access our cart page when we click on this, right? So we need the link tag. I'll cut this, Ctrl X, use the link tag from React Router DOM. Remember that we installed React Router DOM at the beginning of this tutorial, and then I'm going to paste this. I'm going to paste what I just cut between the link. So the paths, the two will be the same paths that we had for the routing system for the cart page in our app.js. This. Okay, so the path here is for cart, and the element here is for cart. So that is what we're doing right here. I've already linked. So when the user clicks on this, it's going to lead them to the cart page. So let's test it. If you click on this, right now you can see this is our cart page. Okay, it's not styled, there's no CSS yet, so that's why it's looking like this. Alright, let me add an item to our cart. Okay, so we have an error. Let us check it out. Inspect. As a developer, error is defined, so always expect error. Let us see the error. Okay, so it's saying on cart reference error. Cart detail is not defined at our cart.js. Let's see to that. So in cart.js, okay, we have the cart detail components, and we did not define it here. So I'm just going to import cart. Come on, caps lock. Cart details. Let's see if the error is gone. All right. Let's see if we still get the same error. I'm adding a table. Okay, so everything is working perfectly well. We have the image of the cart, and we have the name of the item, the image of the item. I don't know why I keep saying cart. The image of the item, the product that we added, the name of the product, the remove icon, the increment and decrement, the price and the total price. We can increase here, and you see that this is changing. Even in the cart summary, it is changing as well. If I increase to 3, this is changing in the subtotal, it's changing in the total price here, and it's changing on the total cost as well. So we just need to style this cart. Okay, another thing you should notice is that in our cart page, we do not have our navigation bar. So we need to mount the nav bar in the cart page as well. So here in the cart page, we're going to mount our nav bar. Okay, in the cart. And now if you view it, this is what we have. Remember that we worked on something earlier where we styled our navigation bar such that when it is on the home page, it gives a transparent background. But if it is on any other page, it would give a dark background. Okay, guys, if you like what you're watching, do not forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to like my video. Don't forget to share with other people. So every other thing is working here. The number of items we have in our cart is 3 because I increased this single item to 3. And as you can see right here in our navigation bar, it's showing that we have 3 items in the cart because of this increment here. If I reduce it, this has reduced to 2. This has reduced to 2 as well. So the next thing we need to do is styling. So we need to style our cart page. So we'll start by styling the cart.css. Before that, we need to import the CSS file into our CSS file. So I'll start with the cat container, copy this and then paste it in cat.css. Display will be flex, and then justify content, space between, with a padding of 20 pixels. We'll start with the left side of the cat. So cat left, copy it and then paste it here. So for cat left, the width will take 65% of the screen. Background color will be white, and then padding of 20 pixels as well. Padding 20 pixels. Okay, this color fill is not complete. Alright, and then for the right section, let me copy it again, paste it here. The width will be 30%. Background color is going to take this color code. Padding will take 20 pixels as well. And then the border radius for this one will be 10 pixels on all sides. Alright, we'll head back to the left cat. So for the cat header, display will be flex. Margin top will take 20 pixels. Justify content, space between, and then font width will be bold. Okay, and then we have this delete cat here that we need to style as well. So for cat header, we have delete cat. So the font size of the delete cat icon will be 22 pixels. Now for this second cat header, we have several span tags that we need to style as well. So for cat header span tag, the font size will take 20 pixels and margin left will take 90 pixels. And then we have the cat detail. The cat detail wraps around our cat detail component. So I'm just going to open it and style the cat detail components directly. So I'll start with the cat item. So for cat item, display is flex. Justify content as well, space between, and then align items center with a margin top of 20 pixels. Padding will take 10 pixels on, and then border bottom will take 1 pixel solid with this color code. Okay, so for product details container, copy it, paste it here. Display will be flex. Justify content, space between, and then align items in the center. The max width will be 50%. We have an image after in the container as well, so we're going to style that as well. The width of the image will be 60 pixels. And then the height will be 60 pixels as well. Margin right will be 20 pixels. Okay, and we have product info. So for product info, we have an H3 tag in that. Margin will be set to 0. And then the font size will be set to 18 pixels. We have the P tag as well. Product info P tag. The color will be set to this color code, and the margin will be 5 pixels 0. Then we have this remove icon as well. Okay, so we have the cat item remove as well. We'll check that later. Let's head over to the quantity. So for quantity, display will be flex, and then align items center. We have two buttons at the quantity. So button, the width of each of the button will be 30 pixels. Height will be 30 pixels as well. Background color will be set to this color code. Border will be none. Cursor will be pointer, and then display will be flex. Align items in the center. Justify content will set to center, and the font size of the text that would be inside it will be 18 pixels. We have a span tag inside the quantity as well, that is showing the quantity amount. So the margin here will be set to this value. Now we have price and total. So we're styling both for price and for total. The font size will be 16 pixels, and the color will take this color code. Now that we're done with the entire cart detail, we'll move back to the cart, the right side of the cart. So for cart right, we have an H2 tag. So this will set the font size of the header to 24 pixels, and then margin bottom will be 20 pixels. And then we have summary items. So for summary item, we'll copy it and then I'll paste it here. Display will be set to flex. Justify content, paste between, and then the margin bottom will be 10 pixels. So for this last summary item, we're going to have another div type for total cost so that we can style it separately. So the summary item with total cost, the font width will be bold, and then the font size will be 20 pixels. Now we have the apply button as well. So for the apply button, the background color will take this color code, and then the text color will be white. Border will be set to none, while the padding will take 10 pixels, 15, and then cursor will be set to pointer, and then margin top will be 10 pixels. And then for the checkout button, we'll style the checkout. Width will be 100%, and then the background color is going to take this color code. The text color will be white. Padding will take 15 pixels. Border will be none. None. Okay. Cursor will be pointer as well. And then the margin top will be 20 pixels. So the cart.css is here, cart.gss and the cart detail as well. So if we check our cart page now, this is what our cart should look like. Okay, let me add more items to the cart. Let me add this to the cart, add it to the cart, add a cabinet, add a chandelier. We should see all of this in our carts. Everything is working. We can clear the entire cart and it will show that the cart is empty. Let me add more items to the cart. Add a center table, a chair, and a cabinet to the cart. Let's see. We can increase and we can increase, we can decrease items in the cart. We can remove a specific item from our carts. We can remove this item as well from the cart. We can increase the item in our carts. Everything is reflecting and it is working well. So let's see. Okay. So for what we're trying to view, we can view a better detail of our cards, like the product detail of the item when we click on the image or when we click on the name of the product. Okay, so we need to work on that as well here. So right now we can't view anything, so we need to work on the product detail. Our cart is working, our category section is working, so we need to work on viewing product details. So I'll close the cart detail, everything relating to cart. We're done with cart and then number as well. So we're going to open our product list where we have our products displayed, and then we use a link tag. So what we want to achieve is that when the user clicks on the image, they should be able to view the product detail. And when they click on the name of the product as well, they should be able to view the product detail as well. So I'm going to cut this, Ctrl X. Here I'm going to use link tag from the actual add-on. Okay, and then in between the link tag, I'm going to paste what I just cut earlier. My link has already been defined here. Okay, so in our app.gsx, this is what we have. The route to our product detail page. For routing, we're viewing each product with the ID. So when we want to link it in the product list, we need to make sure that the ID is considered as well. So here we use the tool. So here I'm going to use backtick / I want to check for products / we use $sign, and then we're checking for each product dot ID. Okay, and then we're going to pass a key which will serve as a unique identifier, and that will be product.id as well. Okay, so this is going to lead us to our product details. So whenever the user clicks on the image, they're going to see the product details. When they click on the name, they'll see the product detail as well. So back to our local hosts. As you can see, it has reflected here with this underline sign that it is a link. So if the user clicks on the image, we're going to see the product image, and it is showing that this is the first product. If we click on this, it's going to show that it is the second product, and it's showing the product detail as well. If you click on either the name of the product or the image of the product, you're going to see the product image. So let's remove this underline sign for the link first. I'm just going to open my index.css, and then for all links, text decoration will be set to none, and the color will be black. So if we view it now, you can see this is no longer showing. And you can see there's a little bit link. There's a link right here that is showing that this is for the first product, this is for the fifth product, and all of that. So let's work on our product details so that it's going to look as unique as this. So I'll close index.css since we're done with that, and our product list as well. So we need to work on our product details now. In the product detail that we're trying to build, we're able to add to carts, we're able to add products to our cart page directly from here, and we're able to get the item amount from here as well. That means that we need the shop context. We need to access the shop context in our product details. So here, because we're using context, use context will be necessary. And then also, we can change states. We can view the description and our reviews as well. So we need use states as well. So here we're going to have use states. Okay. And then we need to import shop context from our components and the shop context code, or we're getting it from shop context. So we need to extract item amount, which is quantity, and also the add to cart function from our shop context. So const, so here we need item amount and the add to cart function. The context we're using is shop context. Okay. And also for all of this data, the images, title, description, and all of that, we're going to be getting it from our product list. So this is it. We need the information for this product list right here. So here we're just going to import product lists, from data, and we're going to use that very soon. We have our shop context, we have our item amount. We just need to start work. We also need to import params from use params from React Router. So basically, use params is a hook provided by React Router that allows you to access the dynamic parameters of the current route. The parameter would serve as part of the URL that will be used for fetching or displaying specific content based on the route. So here in our app.jsx, we have defined our route for our product details. Here, we define the path to our route, and the ID here, the colon ID, is a dynamic parameter representing the product ID. So in product details, we are importing use param so that we can have access, it can allow us to have access to the dynamic parameter that we just created here. So that is why we're using use params here. So the next thing that we're going to do is to get the ID, to get the value of the ID parameter using use params. So here we're going to have ID will be equals use params. And then the next thing we're going to do is to get the product based on the ID, to get the detail of the product. So here const product will be equal to product list. We're using the find method to get each of the products. So here product. Okay, so we want to return, what we're looking for is product based on ID. So here we're going to return product.id that is equal to any ID that is an integer. Okay, this is supposed to be 3, not 4. Okay, so that's what we did just now. We created a variable for product, and we're looking for in our product list, which is in the data.jsx. We want to find products based on their ID, and we want it to be equal. The product that we're finding must be equal to product whose ID is stored in an integer format. Okay, and now for our product detail itself, I'll create a div tag for product details, and in that we're going to have the left and the right section. So we're going to have .detail left, and then we're going to have .detail right. So for the left section, we have the image tag, and it is going to take product.image. Okay, and then in the right section, that's where we're going to have the name of the product, the price, description, quantity, and then a button to add to cart. So we're starting with the heading tag, which is for the product name. So this is going to take product.name, and then we need the product price as well. So we're using the paragraph tag for product price. So the price will be in dollars, and we're going to have product.price. Next is the product description, product.description. We're going to have product details description. Okay, the reason why we have product details description and why we have product price is because the description of the product is inside this object here, the product detail object. Okay, so to access it, we need to do it like this. Okay, and then the next thing we need to work on now is the product quantity and the cart. So I'm creating a div tag for product quantity cart, and then we're going to have another div tag for product quantity itself, product quantity. So here we're having a p tag with a class name of quantity, and this is going to take quantity. And then we'll have another div tag, another p tag with a class name of quantity amount, and it is going to take item amount that we extracted from our shop context. And then we're going to have the button to add to carts. So this is going to take an unclick function, and in the click function we're going to call our add to cart function, because we want to be able to add directly to carts when we are viewing the product details. So we're adding products based on ID. So here, products and ID, and this is what we have for the product details. So if we try to view any product now, this is what we should see: the image of the product, the name of the product, the price, description, quantity, and button that says add to cart. Let's view another product, and it is the same thing as well. If you view this product as well, it's the same thing. So we need to style, and also we need to add this tab container for our description and reviews. So let's add the tab container for description and review. Okay. So after the product details, we need the tab container. In our tab container, we have our tab header. And in the tab header, we have two buttons. So the first button is going to take description, and the second button is going to take reviews. So after our tab header, we're going to have the tab content. So for tab content, okay, lowercase, tab content. In the tab content, we're going to have two tab pane. We're going to have two tab pane for description and for reviews. Okay, so for the description tab pane, we're going to have a p tag. So here, what we want to show is our product, the product details, the description, and in the reviews tab pane, we're going to have the p tag, and it's going to show that no reviews yet. Okay, so this is what we have now for both of them. Now, if we view this, if we click on this button, none of the buttons are working because we're here to set the states. We're here to define the logic for each of them, just like we did for this. When you click on this to see no reviews, when you click on description, you should see this. So let's work on that now. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to create a state variable for active tab, so that we know which tab is active, and a setter function, set active tab, and then the use state. Our use state, we're going to set it to description, because that is the first thing we want to see. And we're going to see the reviews if the user toggles, right? So this is it, and then we'll head back to the button. For the description button, let me click enter. Here, I'm giving it the class name. So this is what I'm going to check. This is what I'm going to do. If the tab is active tab, if it is equal to description, then I'm going to use a ternary operator to set it to active, which I'm going to style, and if otherwise, set it to nothing. Okay, and then I'm going to use an onClick function right here to call the set active tab, so that it can update the tab to description. Okay, so basically that's what we're doing. This is for the first button. I think I need to, so that you can see clearly and understand it. Okay, so this is for the first button, and then for the second one as well, we're going to do for reviews. So I'm just going to copy this to, to reduce our time, and then I'm going to paste this here. Why do we have an error? Okay, I didn't close this. Okay, so the first button is for description, right? And the second button is for reviews. So this will be reviews, right? And this will be reviews as well. So Here, what we're just doing is to check if the tab is active, and if it is on review, it should be set to active. It should follow the style that we're going to give this active. But if it is not on reviews, if the active tab is not on review, it should be set to nothing. And that's the same thing that we did here as well. And then we use an unclick function to call the set active tab to update our tab to reviews. Okay, so basically that is just it. And now for the tab content and the tab pin. The first tab pin is for description. Okay, I'm going to cut it out now, and now I'm going to check if our active tab is on description and it should render the tab pin, right? If the active tab is on description, we want to render this, and we're going to do it for this here as well. The same thing. If our active tab is on reviews, we want to render the tab pin for reviews as well. Okay, so basically that is it. Let's try and see if it has worked. So now our state is set to description, right? If I click on reviews, can you see no reviews yet? So let's try this so that we're just going to see everything. But on description, we only have just a simple text. I'll have like more text here. So I'm just going to copy and paste that just do. So here for the description copy, I'm just going to paste it like 3 to 4 to 5 times. I think 3 times is okay. Let us style. To style, we need to import our product details, .css. Okay, sorry, ./product details.css. Okay, now we'll open our product details, and then we can now start styling. So we're going to start with our product details itself. So copy product details, paste it here. Display will be flex, and then the gap between left and right will be 30 pixels. Padding will take 80 pixels, and then max width will be 1000 pixels. Margin will be 0, and we want it at the center. Now we're starting with details left, and we're styling the image. So for details left, img tag, the width will take 460 pixels. What else do we have? We have the details right, the h3 tag for details right. So we'll just set that as well. h3, the font size will take 34 pixels. Text transform to uppercase, and then border bottom will take 2 pixels solid with this color code. Okay, and then we have the product price. So for details right, for the product price, the font size will take 22 pixels. The color will take this color code, and then margin top will be 20 pixels. And then we have the description as well. For details right, for description, font size will be 20 pixels. The color will take this color code, and then the margin top will be 15 pixels. Right. We have a button as well, but before the button, we need to style the quantity cards. So for product quantity cards, display is flex. Gap will be set to 20 pixels, and the margin top will be set to 20 pixels. And then we have the product quantity itself, the container, display will be flex, and then gap is 10 pixels. Justify content in the center, align items at the center. Okay, so we have the quantity itself. So for product quantity and quantity itself, We're setting the font size to 20 pixels, and then the font weight should take 600. Now for the quantity amount, so for product quantity amount, padding will be 10 pixels. Oh, come on, what just happened? Product quantity, okay. Quantity amount. Alright, we're back on track. Padding will be 10 pixels. The border will be set to 1 pixel solid with this color code. And then font size will be 16 pixels. And the font width will be 600. Okay, now to our button. Okay, so for the button, okay, for details right button, padding will be set to 1 rem for the height and 3.6 rem for the width. Border will be set to none. Come on, none. Okay. Background color is going to take our regular color code, and then the color is going to be white, the text color, by the way, and then border radius will be 30 pixels. Okay, so the next thing here is our tab container. Alright, so for tab container, the width will be 100%, max width will be 900 pixels, margin will be 0, we want it at the center, and then the border will be 1 pixel solid with this color code. Okay, there should be an hash since it's a color code. Alright, so what next? We need to add some padding, 20 pixels, and then the margin bottom will take 40 pixels. So margin top will be minus 50 pixels. Let's see, what else do we have? We have the tab header. For tab header, display is flex, justify content, flex stats, border bottom will be 2 pixels solid with this color code. Margin bottom, oh come on, margin bottom will be set to 20 pixels. And then we have buttons here as well in our tab header. So for tab header button, background will be set to none. Border as well will be set to none. Come on, none. Our padding will be 10 pixels, 20 pixels. Cursor will be pointer, definitely. And then the font size will be 16 pixels, while the color will be this color code. Border bottom will be set to 2 pixel solid transparent. Transition, because we're moving from a tab to another, all of it will be 0.3 seconds ears. Now, what we did here is we have active button, right? If our tab is active and if it is on description and if it is active, we need to set this active class name. Okay, so we're going to have for tab header button dot active, the color of the text will be our color code, and then border bottom will be 2 pixel solid with our color code as well. Okay, and then for the tab contents, let's see, we have tab contents right here. For the tab contents, padding will be 20 pixels by 0, 20 pixels on the left and 0 on the right. Okay, and then we have tab pin as well. We have 2 tab pins for reviews and for description. So for tab pin, the font size is going to take 14 pixels, and then the color will take this color code. Line height will take 1.6. Alright, so this is what we have now. If you click on reviews, no reviews yet. If you click on description, This is the description. The text here is quite small, smaller than this. So we should increase the tab pin. We should make this 16 pixels. So let's see, at least this is visible a bit. Okay, so this is the same thing. So there's something that you should notice here. In our product detail, we don't have navigation bar right here because at the beginning of the tutorial, we mounted our navigation bar in our hero section. Okay, so the nav bar is present in the hero section. So it should also be present in every other page. For it to be present, we need to mount it in any other page that we want it to be present. Remember that for every other page, the navigation bar, the background of the navigation bar will be dark. So I'm going to mount our nav bar in our product detail. So our product details, I'm just going to mount it here. I'm going to mount the nav bar components in the product details, and it's going to give us a dark background with a white text color. So, and then I'm going to import it. Wherever I'm going to import it here. Import nav bar. Oh, come on. Nav bar from ./, in our component folder, navbar folder, navbar file, and then file we have our navigation bar here. Okay, let's see for okay, this is what we have. You can view whichever products you want to view for the chair. You can add to carts. The quantity is going to be shown here and here as well. You can check for reviews, you can check for description. So we need our footer as well. The footer is present in all pages. That means we're going to mount it in our app.gsx. So let's work on our footer. So I'm going to close our close product details.css as well. And then we'll open our footer. So I'm just going to paste this entire footer here. It's a very simple footer. We have the footer tag with the class number footer container. We have the top footer and we have the bottom footer. In the top footer, we have the title of the footer, and then we have a paragraph tag as well. Then we have the social icons for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Plus, and LinkedIn. Now for the footer bottom, we have lists here, which has a class number footer menu. The first list will go to this link for the home. The second one is for products, third is for testimonial, and lastly, we have the contacts and the copyright section as well. This is what we have. So the footer.css, I'm going to paste it also. I'm going to drop the link to my GitHub so you can have access to this footer code. Okay, so check the link in the description. I've already imported my CSS file into my JSX file. So next thing I'm going to do is in my app.gsx, because the footer has to be present in all of our pages, so we're just going to render it in the app.gsx. So footer, and then I'll close it. If we go back to our code, this is our footer right here. So let me close all of this. And then at the beginning, I said earlier that we're going to be deploying this website. We'll make it responsive that we're going to deploy. So let's deploy first and make it live. So we're deploying on Netlify. And then, okay, internet connection. I have an account with Netlify, so I'm just going to log in with my GitHub. So this is a Netlify. We need to push our code to GitHub first off. So I'm going to create a new repository. This is on my own GitHub profile. And then I'm going to name this. So I'm going to name this Kento Furniture. So it's going to be a public repo, right? I'll just make it a private repo. You can decide to make it public or private. This is going to be a public repository. So create new repository, and then you're going to follow this code. So to push our code to GitHub, head to your terminal. I need to expand my terminal a bit. We need to initialize git init, and then git add. Okay, let me close all of this so that we have more space. Okay, and then we need to commit with our comment. So I'm going to paste this. So we're going to edit it. Git commit -m, and then we're going to have complete. Let me make this. Okay, enter, and then we'll copy this as well. paste it here, press enter again, and then we'll copy the URL to the remote repository that we're pushing our code to, and then you paste it on the terminal again, press enter, and then lastly the push. So you just wait for some time for it to push. So we push our code to GitHub. I'm going to reload this, and then alright, so this has been successfully pushed to the GitHub. Okay, now back to our Netlify. I'm going to reload this. Okay, and then click on add new site. I want to import an existing project from my GitHub. It's going to show that it needs permission, so this has been authorized, and then I can now search for my repos. So the name of the repo is Kento Furniture. So this is it, Kento Furniture, and the site name is going to be Kento as well. I'll just leave it as Kento, and then deploy Kento. Okay, so the name must be unique. Let me just add Kento Furniture. Let me check the availability. Okay, it's available. Deploy Kento Furniture. So the site's deployment is in progress. So it's showing that it's deploying the site. Okay, the site has been successfully deployed. This is the link. You click on it. Okay, so this is the deployed website, and then we have our cart page as well. It is working. You can check any product detail. You can add items to carts. So this is it right here. This site has been built from scratch using React, and it has been deployed on Netlify. I'm going to drop the link to the deployed site in my GitHub. So guys, do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to like. Do not forget to drop your comments on what you want me to do next. Thank you so much.